YouTube, and then we'll get started. So, we're on, and we'll start. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Medical Mondays with Dr. O. It's a beautiful day in Maryland. We finally have nice weather.
Yes.
And yes, isn't that beautiful? So, but you never know, we may still get the snow. I am Dr. Tonyo Kwesomi. I'm a family practitioner. I treat HIV and addictions, substance use disorder. And I happen also to be the health officer for Prince George's County, our amazing county. So tonight, we have Commissioner Ellen Tappin, who will talk to us about colorectal cancer. It's Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and I feel so honored that we have Commissioner Tappin in our midst to come talk to us, to come educate us, because she herself is a survivor. But one can be a survivor and just a survivor, but she's also a conqueror, because she has taken the baton to now go out and start educating our communities on how to handle our lives so we can to possibly prevent colon cancer or to intervene. I'm proud tonight to have her in our midst. We are blessed to have her. She's very busy. But she told me, if I can talk today, this Monday, the rest of the month she's booked. So without much ado, I'm going to yield the floor to our Commissioner, Ellen Tappin. Welcome.
Thank you.
You have
Thank
the
you,
floor.
Dr. O. Thank you, Dr. O. Thank you for having me. As Dr. O said, I am a commissioner with the Prince George's County Multicultural Affairs Commission, and I am a survivor and I'm an advocate. I volunteer with Fight Colorectal Cancer and Colorectal Cancer Alliance to bring awareness to my community and to anyone who will listen to understand that colorectal cancer is preventable and there is a life after a diagnosis. A little bit about me, I am from Guyana. A lot of people think Ghana when they hear Guyana, but I don't mind because we have a close connection with Ghana and with Africa, but I am from Guyana. I reside in College Park here in Maryland, and I am a member of, we call them Prince Georgians. I am a member of the Prince George's County community. Today, as I said, it's a privilege and it's an honor to share a little bit about you, regarding colorectal cancer and why it's important that we get screened. So I'm going to share a little bit with you about awareness, why I do what I do to bring awareness, the fact that colorectal cancer is preventable if detected early, and what we can do as a community to bring awareness to improve health. Colorectal cancer, as I said, is one of the most preventable cancers, again, if detected early. A lot of people may not know, but it is the #1 cancer causing death among people under the age of 50. It is the #2 cancer causing death amongst men and women. And many deaths occur because it is not detected, or when it is detected, it is too late. 1 in 3 persons between the ages of 50 and 75 have not been screened in the entire United States, even though the age has been dropped to 45. Could you believe that 1 in 3 persons between the ages of 50 and 75 have not been screened? Colorectal cancer is one of the most preventable and treated cancers when found early. I was diagnosed with stage 3 in 2020. But thank God I'm still here. So as we like to say, I'm turning my pain into purpose. Screening and awareness can save lives. Cancer that begins in the colon or the rectum is known as colorectal cancer. It usually starts at a small growth called a polyp. Polyps can turn into cancer over time, but as I said, and you probably hear me repeating this throughout the live presentation, screening can detect and remove polyps before cancer develops. So the question is to get screened. A lot of people say, well, what are polyps? And so I thought that it might help to share a little bit about different types of colon polyps without getting into the medical profession, because I am not a doctor by any way close to Dr. O. But polyps are growth on the lining of the colon or rectum. Most are harmless, but some can turn into cancer over time. Removing polyps prevents cancer before it starts. A polyp is a small growth of tissue that forms on the inner lining of the colon or the rectum. It looks like a small bump, mushroom-shaped growth, or raised lesion projecting from the intestinal wall. There's some key facts. Polyps develop on the inner lining of the large intestine. Most polyps are benign, meaning they're non-cancerous at first, but some types, especially the anomatous polyps, can gradually develop into colorectal cancer if they are not removed. And some people said, well, if a polyp could be removed, how were you and why were you diagnosed at stage 3? And that's a very long story. But anyway, a polyp, if detected early, can be removed. If it's benign, we're fine. If it's cancerous, it can still be removed, and the doctor would monitor you over a period of time. If when you test and they discover that that polyp is there, they ask a question. Do you have a family history? And if there's a family history, they will start monitoring you and checking to make sure that you are getting the kind of treatment and the care you need to prevent you from having colon or colorectal cancer. Today, what is the scope of the problem? Over 150,000 people in the United States are diagnosed each year. About 50,000 deaths annually occur as a result of colorectal cancer. As I said, it's the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths overall, and the rates are rising among young people. If you happen to go on CBS or you happen to look at the National Mall here in the United States, there are 27,400 blue flags. Each flag represents a young person below the age of 50 who will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer. So just think about that number, 27,400 people in the United States, young people will be diagnosed with that disease. So it's evidently that there is work that needs to be done to determine what is causing the disease among younger and younger people. Why is it called the avoidable killer? It's called the avoidable killer because it can be prevented. Screening can stop cancer before it starts, and early detection greatly improves survival. Awareness leads to earlier diagnosis. And in this picture here, you see that if you look at the colon itself, there is the transverse colon, there's the descending colon, there's the sigmoid colon, there's the appendix over here in the ascending colon, and then there's the rectum. Most people who have rectal cancer, it's in the rectum area. So for me, I share my information because I had a complete proctomy. So those of you who are in the medical profession, I do not have a rectum, but I'm still alive. So it's preventable, detectable, and there's life after the diagnosis. Non-modifiable risk, age, family history, and genetic conditions play a role in helping determine what are my risk factors, as well as lifestyle. Poor diet, physical inactivity, smoking, and heavy use of alcohol. These are some of the risks that could cause it. What are the warning signs? A lot of people don't know. What are the warning signs? How do I know what to look for? Some of the young people that I've been speaking with over the last week, the first question they say, well, what do I do? How do I know? How do I detect if I had it? Blood in the stool, change in bowel habits, abdominal pain, unexplained weight loss, fatigue or anemia. Early stages often have no symptoms. And for me as a survivor, I had no symptoms. I had none of these signs, or maybe I'm so busy that I ignore them, but I had none of these signs. What are the symptoms of colorectal cancer? This is just another little chart to show you persistent changes in the bowel. If the bowel is not looking like this, you're not going regularly, you're constipated, or you're having diarrhea, or suddenly the bowel is flat like a ribbon, these are signs. Blood in the stool, abdominal discomfort such as cramping or pain, and intended weight loss. And I want to talk a little bit about this abdominal discomfort such as cramping or pain, particularly in women who are still in the age premenopause and are getting the menstrual cycle. Sometimes these signs could be ignored. Oh, it's just a menstrual cycle. And if you talk to a lot of women, you will recognize that some of them have gone to the doctors, and the doctors dismiss the fact that they're having these cramps, saying, oh, it could be your menstrual cycle. Or if there's bleeding in the from the anus, or if there's bleeding in the stool, they might suggest, oh, it could be hemorrhoids. So sometimes these go on and they're misdiagnosed. There's several stages of colorectal cancer. Doctor uses the stages 0 through 4 to describe how far the cancer has grown or spread. There is a stage 0. Cancer is only in the inner lining or the colon or the rectum. Some people think it's how long you have it, but that's not necessarily true. Stage 1, cancer has grown slightly into the colon or the rectal wall. Stage 2, cancer has grown deeper through the wall. Stage 3, cancer has spread to nearby lymph nodes. Stage 4, cancer has spread to distant organs. Staging helps guide treatment decisions and give patients and caregivers clarity about what comes next. This chart here shows some of the stages of the colorectal cancer. You see here stage 1, it's here in the rectum and it's growing outside. Stage 2, it's a little bit larger. It's going beyond the rectal wall. Stage 3, it's impacting the lymph nodes. Stage 4, it's impacted the lymph nodes and it's spread to other parts of the body. If we look at some data in the United States, we talked about being 150,000 people that are diagnosed, and about 50,000 people die every year from colorectal cancer in the United States. If we look at that in terms of a global colorectal cancer statistics, we see where it is. It's in the millions that are being diagnosed and 100,000 that are dying. So whilst this is a forum of people from all walks of life and global, the question is, if you look at this chart, you can see the numbers are larger globally because people globally are not getting aware, they're not being treated, they're not having an opportunity to have the same treatment that people are getting here in the United States. They don't have the opportunity to be detected or to get a colonoscopy. We said screening save lives. Recommended screening begins at the age of 45. And I shared with you a little bit earlier that even though the age is 45, 1 in 3 persons have below the age between the age of 50 and 75 have not been screened. Common screening tests include a colonoscopy, a FIT stool test, a stool DNA test, and one that is not here is a Cologuard. Cologuard can do some blood work. But believe it or not, if a Cologuard test is done or a FIT stool test is done, and they detect that you have a colorectal cancer, they will send you to do a colonoscopy. So the colonoscopy is the best screening that's available to be able to detect colorectal cancer. It's highly preventable and more treatable when caught early. If you find and you remove the precancerous pulp before they turn into cancer, detect cancer at an early age when treatment is most effective. And the U.S. Preventative Search Task Force recommends screening for adults age 45 to 75. Adult ages 76 to 85 based on personal health history and provide guidance. Since lowering the recommended age from 50 to 45, research shows a sharp rise in early stage diagnosis among ages 45 to 49. This is a clear proof that screening is saving lives. Another point that's not here, if I have a family history of colorectal cancer, I need to get screened 10 years before the closest person to me was detected. So if my mom was diagnosed at 50, when I reach 40, I should get screened because I have a family history. And a lot of people aren't aware of that. I have a colleague who was not aware that he should have been screened at the age of 35 or 25 because his mom was diagnosed with the disease. So it's important for us to be able to share this information with others so that they understand early detection save lives. Disparities in colorectal cancer. Some communities experience high death rates or higher than others. Barriers include limited screening, lack of awareness on healthcare disparities, and community education is essential. If we look at the brown and the Black communities, they are the ones that has health disparity, and they don't have the opportunity to get screened. Sometimes they don't have health insurance, and without a health insurance, you're not able to get a screening. So we need to do work in the brown and Black communities to ensure that we work on health disparities and find a way to invest in those communities so that they're able to get screened. This here just show colon cancer versus rectal cancer. So in the colon, here's where you would find the polyps in the ascending colon or the transverse colon or the descending colon. But here in the sigmoid or the rectum is where you will find where the rectal cancer would grow. Although grouped together as colorectal cancer, colon cancer and rectal cancer have important differences. Both are forms of colorectal cancer, but they occur in different parts of the large intestine, and sometimes they require different treatment. Colon cancer can develop in the colon, which is the largest part of the large intestine, and sections of the colon include, as I showed you in the previous chart, the ascending colon, the transverse colon, the descending colon, and the sigmoid colon. This is rectal cancer, and it shows you where the tumors can grow, causing the rectal cancer. And again, the rectal cancer may cause rectal bleeding, pain during bowel movements, feeling that the bowel doesn't empty, and narrow stools that look like a ribbon. What is our role? As individuals, we have a role to get screened. We know when we're flying in a plane, what they tell us. In the instance of an emergency, put on your own mask first. So we as individuals need to get screened. We need to know our family history. We need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And as a community, we need to promote screening. We need to increase awareness, and we need to support prevention programs. So thanks to Dr. O for having me as a part of a prevention program. Key takeaways: colorectal cancer is preventable. Screening saves lives. Early detection leads to better outcomes, and education and awareness are critical. Together, we can prevent colorectal cancer and save lives. Any questions?
Wow. Thank you so much. Your presentation is so loaded, perfect. You covered everything, but in simple language that we all understood. Thank you so much. I
You're
have a
welcome.
question.
Yes.
And, people on the platform know if people will raise their hands, if they have questions, or they'll put it in the chat box and I'll read it. So if you put the slides down,
Yes.
it would help me to, thank you. So I have a question. You very, very versed now. And of course, you know the right thing to do. You're advocating it. You just advocated the right things to do for us to prevent colon cancer. Did you get screened before you were diagnosed? Because you were stage 3 when you were diagnosed. It means that something was not caught. Did you have colonoscopy at what age?
So, Dr. O, many people on the platform may not believe, but in 9 days, I'm going to be 70.
Oh, wow. I know
Um,
you in person and you don't look anything near 70.
so
You look amazing.
thank you. God is good. I was
Wow.
diagnosed at age 65 in the middle of COVID in 2020. And I was up on my colonoscopies. As a matter of fact, I had had a colonoscopy in 2017, and I was told that I was clean. But because I'm an advocate and I do research to understand, I have been told that chances are, depending on the doctor, and I'm not blaming the doctor, and I'm not going after anybody with a lawsuit, because I still do believe that God doeth all things well. And he gives the hottest battles to his strongest soldiers. But I've been told that the doctor could have missed a pulp. I've been told that there's some flat pulps. Remember, I'm not a medical doctor to the platform. I've been told that there could be some flat pulps that could be missed, and that could have been what happened in my case. I have no idea what the answer is, but yes, to your question, Dr. O, I was screened in 2017, and in 2020, I was diagnosed with stage 3.
2017.
Yeah, 3 years after I was diagnosed with stage 3.
That is unusual. You're right. But you're right about, everything. If you didn't go through that, you will not be an advocate today.
Yeah.
So, yes, the Lord allowed things. He allowed that. He allows things. And I always say something, if you don't go through, you cannot be used by God. That's just the way it is. And, I'm thankful that you're alive. I'm thankful that you did not hold that information to yourself and you're out there advocating so that others don't go through the same thing. Yes, there are different polyps, and as you rightly presented, most are benign, but there's the sessile polyps that can become cancer. But when they are taken out, when you do colonoscopy, they will remove all the polyps. Yes, something must have been missed.
Chances
Because
are.
chances are, because usually that's why when the colon is clear, there are no polyps. The next time that is recommended that one screens is 10 years, because it's postulated that it would take at least 10 years for a polyp, if it's cancerous, to develop into cancer. But when polyp is found and they send it to pathology, depending on what pathology says, they would then suggest that colonoscopy is done in 3 years or 5 years after that polyp is removed, depending on what kind of polyp. But in your case, you were given a clean bill of health, and then 3 years later, stage 3 colon cancer. We thank God for your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a question in the chat box that says, if one is a female and one's father had cancer, so it depends on what cancer though, because there are different kinds of cancers. At what age should one be screened? So I would assist in answering that question because it seems, really, really medical. For colon cancer, colorectal cancer, that's cancer in the colon and rectal area, the age of screening has been brought down to 45. It used to be 50. And the reason they brought it down to screen earlier is because we've seen colorectal cancers more than before. Also, if one has a family history, say the mother, the father, the sister, or the brother had colon cancer before, then they have to screen 10 years before. So for instance, if one's mother has colon cancer at the age of 45, then that person needs to start colon cancer screening at the age of 35. I hope I answered your question. But for other kinds of cancers, we haven't linked like prostate cancer to colon cancer or anything like that. We will still recommend that the screening starts at 45. And depending on what is found, the GI doctors would then advise on the next time to screen, whether it's 1 year. I've had a patient who had to screen in 1 year and screened every year for like 3 years before they now started screening every 3 years because they kept finding polyps and finding polyps, and there were polyps that would become cancer. So it depends on what is found. So Pastor Paul says your information was concise, informative, and empowering. He said, thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Pastor Paul.
Yes. So, did somebody say something? Okay. I want to also say that, as was said in the presentation, the age that we're diagnosing colon cancer now is younger and younger. In the 30s, sometimes 20s. So it begs the question, why? Food that we eat has been linked to the possibility of why we have this increased incidences and earlier incidences. So research is going on, and I pray that, things are found earlier and quicker to help us so that, we can further prevent. Dr. Booker, you have the floor.
Okay.
Dr. Booker?
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, my sister, for that very informative thing. And I'm also from Guyana, too. So it was nice to know that.
You're not showing your face though.
Thank you,
tonight.
Dr.
Oh.
Booker. Dr. Booker, when I saw your name, I said, I wonder if she's from Guyana because I know some Bookers, believe it or not. And my son is also married to a Booker.
Oh, Lord,
Oh.
not to me. From Mackenzie.
I'm from Mackenzie too.
Okay. I
Look
thought
at
so.
Sisters Meeting on Medical Mondays with Dr.
I'm
O.
telling you, Tappin is a Mackenzie name. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dr. Booker, I'll say much, not to take away from the Medical Monday program. If you know the Franklins, I'm a Franklin.
Oh, Bromwell Franklin.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Call me later.
You're not taking anything away from Medical Mondays. Trust me.
Oh, in
send me your number in the chat, Dr. Booker. Yeah.
okay,
Don't worry, I'll
yes,
connect both of
from
you.
Burbeach Road, yeah.
Same Franklin.
See trouble. Yeah. Well, one thing that you didn't say is, and it's not being said a lot now, anemia is a very important symptom in colon cancer. And anemia is usually on the right-sided colon where you don't get obstruction, but they present with anemia. And people are falling into the trap of saying, oh, she's menstruating. And Dr. Oh, we knew somebody who passed recently with that. So anemia is very important. And also, the change in bowel habit used to be stressed a lot when I was in medical school. It's very British. That once you have constipation alternating with diarrhea, but that is not stressed a lot these days, I guess because there's more colonoscopy. In the old days, we always did a rectal exam, and all that has gone. So I think in some developing countries, like where we come from, if only they would do a rectal and guaiac positive, they may pick up a few things, a few early signs. And as Dr. O was saying, is it the food? Is it, people are not eating a lot of roughage and so on. What else was I going to say? I think that was, I think that was it. Yeah, I wanted to stress the point of anemia. And, and the other thing I'm going to stress, anybody who gets a colonoscopy, please go back to the physician and let them tell you the results. A very older friend of mine had a colonoscopy. They claimed they told her, and she said she don't remember, but the polyp was malignant. And 3 years later, she came down with metastatic colon cancer. People have a way. I don't know if I wouldn't say our people. I think in general, if the doctor says it's okay, or they send us, they just write something out and said, oh, no problem. They need to go back and ask for the pathological result. Because when they look back at it, it was there that her polyp looked cancerous, the biopsy, but nobody told her. So we need to advocate for that. Go back and ask them, what did the pathologist say? And people need to know that the colonoscopy is not impossible. I've had two. So it's not impossible. You could go, make sure you clean yourself out very well. And it's a very simple procedure. And thank you very much for allowing me to say those facts. Thank you.
You're quite
Thank you
welcome.
so
Dr.
much.
Oak, Dr. Booker, you made a very valid point. But I think one of the things we have to do in our advocacy work is to encourage people to ask their primary care physician, even if they don't go back to the gastroenterologist, but to go back to their primary care physician and ask him how were the results. Because these days they are so focused on numbers that they want to get 15 people or they want to meet the insurance quota, that if you don't go back and ask, and they will tell you that I have seen recently, it's in my chart. Everything is in my chart. But what if you read it and you don't understand what's in my chart? So I think we have to be able to use our voices to advocate for not only more awareness, but that the insurance allows doctors to spend time with patients so that they could understand. Younger people may not have the patience. Older people may not have the understanding how to use my chart. So everything in my chart is not working to the advantage of the patient.
You are 100% right. There's research that has shown that patients remember only 30% of what the doctor says. Part of that is because of medical lingo. We just had you present. I mean, that was why I commented on the language, on the just the understanding, because you spoke English. Dr. Booker is she's an anesthesiologist. And she spoke English. When she spoke, she was clear. But unfortunately, we doctors sometimes, all of us, may start using medical lingos that we don't know that the patient does not even understand what is said. So, Commissioner, what you said, that it's important to go back to the primary care doctor after colonoscopy to go ask for the result, because even if the GI doctor has not sent the result, the primary care doctor would call the office and get the result right away, and then they can explain it. So if the patient had followed up with the GI doctor and it went over their head, at least with the primary care doctor who they have better relationship or more relationship with, they will be able to, know exactly what it says. That is very, very important. Follow up is important, because when you do the testing and you don't know the result may not be positive. Then you sit on it until devastations occur. So follow-up is very important once, one screens. Dr. Ajay says, great and factual presentation. Thank you, Commissioner Ellen. Happy 70th. She's over 70. But it says, happy 70th birthday. You look younger than your age. We celebrate you and wish you the best for many more years to come. Thank you so much. Yes, and that's, he voiced what every one of us, I'm sure, are thinking on Medical Mondays with Dr. O. Dr. Izugu, kindly unmute. You have your hand raised.
Yes, Commissioner.
You're still at work.
Thank you. Yeah, because thank you for your candidness and openness and really being an advocate for this type of situation. Your presentation was excellently done, and it's like people have yet to hear, let him hear, or let her hear as well. Men, yeah, I'm going to advocate for you guys, for all of us. We have to be screened. We have to be screened. Colonoscopy or even rectal exam, no matter where you are in any country, it's nothing. Okay. Even if your patient, even if your doctor is a female doctor, rectal exam is nothing. Okay. And really screening for these things are very important, and it can really save many lives. Thank you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Izugu. And you know what? Something just came to my mind. Let's praise God for this country, the United States of America, because everything we discussed tonight are the standards here, but it's not the same in the rest of the world. I remembered when a friend of mine turned 50. This was years ago in London, and I was so excited. I told her, I said, now you're going to have colonoscopy. And she said, no, she's a nurse in London. She said, no, you Americans are the ones that have the advantage and the opportunity to do that. She said that in Britain, unless there are symptoms, you have blood in your stool, you develop anemia and it doesn't make sense. Maybe you postmenopausal and have anemia, or you remain and have anemia, something like that, that they may then do colonoscopy. She said it's not standard like we do here. So we have advantage. We have opportunity to get screened and get diagnosed. Please take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. It's a blessing that we are in a country where, the, medical associations agree 100% on this. And as Dr. Booker said, the procedure, you won't even know. You'll be sleeping. Just clean well. They'll give you something to drink or tablets to take to poop. You're going to poop all night. I think that's the difficult part of colonoscopy, that pooping all night, so that your bowel is very clear. And when they're scoping, that they can see through and be able to see, all the, from the colon, from the rectum all the way into the colon. And, you'll be sleeping. It takes only a few minutes and you go home and relax for the rest of the day. So,
Dr. O, one other thing, maybe another time I'll come back, but there is I'm not sure if you're aware, anybody else on the platform is aware, but there's an organization that's called Global Colon Cancer Association that's doing work in other countries outside of the United States, not only to bring awareness, but also to help in providing supplies to persons who are ostomates that need supplies. So there's that organization, Global Colon Cancer Association.
so if somebody had colon cancer and they need a colostomy bag, is what you're talking about.
Yeah, so this
That bag,
it does
colostomy bag.
everything. It does everything globally. It helps with supplies. It helps with education in different communities. I don't have a list of all the countries that they're in and the work that they're doing in those countries, but I just wanted to put a plug for that organization that's doing work globally and bringing awareness to other countries.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That is golden. Please, we would love to have them so that we can also know the countries that, they impact so positively and be able to, agitate our people there. Thank you so much. This has been very, very, educational and straight to the point. So, what would you leave with us as parting words tonight?
Dr. O, I think my parting words to all of us on the platform. First, if you have not been screened and you are 50 and over, get screened. This is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. I remembered when I kicked off the tabling event at College Park City Council last week. One of the gentlemen came up to me and he said, I'd never had a colonoscopy. And I know he was over 50. He said, but I listened to you last year. And after you left, I went and I got a colonoscopy. That one win is 1,000%. If you could get one person to take action, that is a start. So we know knowledge is power. And we here have had an opportunity to share, to learn. Knowledge gained is knowledge shared. You gained some information this afternoon. Your responsibility, I believe, as another human being, in the words of Michael Jackson, if you want to make the world a better place, what you do, you take a look at yourself and you make a change. So each of us have a responsibility to tell somebody, start with ourselves. If you haven't had a colonoscopy, get one. To my men on the platform, men are always like, I'm not so sure. I want him to put anything up there. You won't even know what happened when you sleep and wake up. 15 minutes, you up. It would be the cleanest you would have ever been in your life. You would have taken the white stuff. These days, they have other stuff you can take that's not so distasteful. And you will wake up being at least 4 pounds less. All that was in there would come out. You'll feel good. You'll feel better. And you will know how healthy you are because they did not find a polyp. So if we are in the mission of saving lives, my words to you are, get screened, have the conversation. At the dinner table, what do we talk about? We talk about sports. We talk about politics. We talk about money that we don't have. But we don't ever talk about health. So change the conversation. It's okay to talk about poop. So get screened, get involved, and let's save lives.
Amen to that. Thank you so much. get screened, get involved, and let's save lives. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Doctor.
So the message is out there. Resources are just Google away or your primary care doctor away. Get screened.
And lastly, before you go, Dr. O, a
Yeah.
lot of the information I shared is available on Fight CRC, Fight, like Fight,
Yes.
CRC, colorectal cancer, just the acronym crc.org, or colorectalcanceralliance.org. Those are the two organizations that I volunteer with and do advocacy work with, and I'm sure there are a lot of others, but all of the information that I shared this afternoon is available on the website of, I can drop it in the chat.
Yes,
Dr.
please.
And have the time.
I just did. Yes, you
Sign
do.
enough. Fight CRC is there, and Colorectal Cancer Alliance is the other one. Colorectal cancer.
So please click on those links to get more information and get screened.
Yeah, it's there.
Fightcolorectalcancer.org.
Colorectalcanceralliance.org.
And fightcrc.org.
So thank you for having me, Dr. O.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Until we meet